Hello and welcome to IB Study Video Lectures. Today we will discuss the 21st chapter of Grade 7 English Grammar, and our topic is active and passive voice. A voice in a sentence shows whether the subject is doing the action or receiving the action. Active voice shows when the subject is doing the action. Whereas in passive voice, the subject is the receiver of the action. He is or she is not the doer of the action. This is what we will discuss deeply in this chapter. Before the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify sentences in active and passive voice, differentiate between active and passive voice, apply rules for converting from active to passive voice. Before we go further, let us study this example. Ma'am, how do we say someone rang the bell in passive voice? The bell was rung by someone. In the first sentence, someone rang the bell, this sentence is in the active voice. Whereas the bell was rung by someone, this is in the passive voice. In the first sentence, someone, we are focusing here on the subject and the subject is doing the action. Who rang the bell? Someone rang the bell. Whereas in the passive voice, in the second sentence, our focus is more on the object, the bell, rather than the subject by someone. What was rung? The bell was rung. So when the focus is more on the object in the sentence and the subject is not the doer of the action, this is called a passive voice. But when the subject is the doer of the action, this is called an active voice. Let us study some more examples. Mother baked the cake. The earliest clocks were made by the ancient Egyptians. In the first sentence, the verb baked is done by the subject mother. Whereas in the second sentence, were made, the verb were made is not done by the subject in the sentence, but it is focused more on the object. So what was made? The logs were made. Who baked the cake? The mother baked the cake. This is what we call active and passive voice. The first sentence is in active voice and the second sentence is in passive voice. In this sentence, our focus is more on the subject and subject is the doer of the action. In the second sentence, our focus is more on the object and we're using the verb with the object, whereas the subject, ancient Egyptians, is later part in the subject, in the sentence. A sentence is an active voice if the subject is the doer of the action. Here, the focus is on the subject and not the action. A sentence is in passive voice if the subject is not the doer of the action. Here, the focus is on the action rather than the subject. Let us discuss and study some more examples and understand how to convert active voice into passive voice. Arjun closed the window. This sentence is in the active voice. The window was closed by Arjun. This is in passive voice. So, a sentence in active voice is changed into the passive voice by changing the positions of the pronouns or nouns or the subjects in the sentence. Like Arjun. Here, we are talking about who closed the window. Arjun is doing the action. Arjun closed the window. When we convert it into the passive voice, we use the subject at the end, the doer of the action at the end, and we place the object first. What was closed? The window was closed by Arjun. So our focus is more on the action here and the object rather than the doer of the action. A sentence in the active voice is changed into passive voice in the following manners as well. If the subject or object in the active voice sentence is a pronoun, it changes its form. For example, I. When we change it into the passive voice, I is usually changed into me. Like, and he. He is changed into him. Like, he was eating a banana. This is an active voice. A banana was being eaten by him. This is in passive voice. Now, here if you observe closely, he, a pronoun, while converting this into the passive voice, a pronoun is changed into him. So this is one of the manner we can change active voice into a passive voice. In the passive voice, by is placed before the object. Like, the window was closed by Arjun. So this is placed before the object or before the doer of the action. When the verb in a sentence is intransitive, that means when the verb do not require an object. For example, the helicopter flew in the sky. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. These are examples of intransitive verbs. So, in example of intransitive verbs, because it cannot be changed, we simply do not change it into the passive voice. Let us study this small example and understand how tenses also change when we change active voice into passive voice. For example, in the simple present tense, he eats a banana. This is an active voice. When we change it into a passive voice, a banana is eaten by him. So first we used eats, and now in the passive voice we use is eaten. The present continuous tense, he is eating a banana in the active voice, and in the passive voice, a banana is being eaten by him. In the present perfect tense, he has eaten a banana has been eaten by him. In the simple past, he ate a banana was eaten by him. In the past continuous, he was eating a banana was being eaten by him. The past perfect, he had eaten a banana. In the passive voice, a banana had been eaten by him. The simple future, he will eat a banana will be eaten by him. So, we place by in the passive voice before the subject in the sentence or before the subject mentioned in the sentence, like him. We also change the pronoun, like he is being changed into him. When we change it into a passive voice, we put by before it, and we always change the tense as well. The simple present tense, eat changes into is eaten. Present continuous, is eating into is being eaten, and so on. So, do study this table in detail. In the following table, we will just understand how the pronouns change from active to passive voice and from passive to active voice. I is changed into me, we to us, you remains you, he to him, she to her, they to them, and it remains the same. Similarly, while changing from the subject position to the object position, I, me to I, us to we, you to remains the you, him to he, her to she, them to they, it to it. So this remains the same. So the subject becomes the object in the passive voice. In the passive voice, we always place by before the object in the sentence, and we always change the tenses. We change the form of the tense as well. Omission of the object in the passive voice. Now, which are the cases when we omit the object in the passive voice? Where we do not have intransitive verb, where the verbs are intransitive, we omit the object in the passive voice, and in the following examples as well. Someone stole my bag. My bag was stolen. Someone broke into this room. This room has been broken into. Now here the subject someone. This is unknown. We do not know who are we referring to. There is no pronoun that we can use here. That's why we have omitted someone in the passive voice, because the person is unknown to us. So we have omitted it and we have only placed my bag was stolen. This room has been broken into. Similarly, in intransitive verbs, because we do not have an object there, so we do not change it. Active verbs having two objects. Active verbs have two objects, direct object and indirect object. For example, he gave me a glance. Here we have used two objects. He gave me a glance. Me and glance. Me is the indirect object and a glance is the direct object. When we change such sentences into passive voice, only one of the object is taken to the subject position. For example, he gave me a glance. So, in the passive voice, we can take only one object as the subject. It can be a direct object, it can be an indirect object. So the direct object was a glance. So if we take a glance in the subject place, we'll say, a glance was given to me by him. But if we take an indirect object in the subject position, we change the sentence to, I was given a glance by him. So given to, given by. This is how we change. So when the sentence has two objects, indirect and direct, we can change in either of the way. We can either take indirect object in the subject position or a direct object in the subject position. And accordingly, we create a sentence. I was given a glance by him. A glance was given to me by him. This is how we change it. Let us do a quick recap before we end this lesson. A sentence is in active voice when the subject is the doer of the action. A sentence is in passive voice when the subject is not the doer of the action, when the subject is receiver of the action. We change a sentence into passive form from active by exchanging the subject and the object. By changing the subject and the position of the subject is changed to the object position. By changing the form of the verb as well. By changing the form of the pronoun and placing by before the object. This is how you change active voice into passive voice. So always remember these steps and keep revising. See you later in the next video lecture. Thank you so much.